No one wants to think about the dark side of the world, but it's real. Every time you walk through a parking garage, or turn off the lights at night, or even just stroll through the park with your kids, the unfortunate truth is that there are very real threats that could enter your life with no warning. As a rape survivor, I know this firsthand. It's why millions of women are embracing their rights and buying firearms. And in my time at the SIG Academy, my instructors made it clear. Everything I did in the comfort of the range has a place and a purpose in the real world, should I ever have to use it. I'm Kimberly Corban, and this is Empower the People, sponsored by SIG Sauer.
Busy morning so far. Got a good warm-up in. Got to shoot a bunch of different types of SIG guns, which I hope was kind of cool. And then you talked a little bit about malfunction clearances with Dylan.
Yes.
How are you absorbing all of that information?
It's a lot. I'm getting to the point now where I know we're gonna need some repetition.
Sure.
But overall, it's still making it in there.
We're gonna switch our mindset from target shooting to now the more defensive aspect of shooting.
Okay.
So as far as handgun defensive shooting goes, when are we able to use deadly force?
Legally?
Yeah, legally.
I would say if you are completely out of options and you are in danger or someone else is in danger of serious bodily injury and threat of death.
Perfect. Did you read that from Google by chance?
No, I lived it.
Well, I grew up in Colorado. I decided when I went to college that I wanted to go stay in town, but go live in the dorms. And I went to school at the University of Northern Colorado in the fall of 2004 and made my best friends there. We lived in a sorority house for our sophomore year, and when we were looking at where to live for our junior year, there was myself and my 5 best girlfriends. And so we started looking more towards the west side of town. It's a little newer, safer. We broke up into 2 apartments, ground level apartments, 5 to 10 miles away from where I've lived my entire life. And in the spring of 2006, we had been moved in for about a week, and I went to bed one night after hanging pictures and putting a bunch of stuff up on my walls and laughing with my roommate. And the next thing I remember was there was a shirt over my face, and I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I tried to push myself up in bed, and I was pushed back down. And a man held me in my college apartment and raped me for 2 hours. And I had to lay there at 20 years old thinking that that was how I was going to die. And that'll change you. Once I was able to survive that situation, get out alive, I immediately called 911, and my life was never the same again.
Okay, what's going on?
I was raped.
You were what?
I was raped.
Okay, did the person that did this to you, are they still there?
Just left
I was the prosecutor who took her case from the minute it came into the office. Within a couple of weeks, the suspect was arrested, and I had an opportunity to meet with her mom, her dad, to sit down and start talking with Kim about what her expectations should be of the criminal justice system. And I remember, and she and I have talked a lot about the day that she walked in, I had this sense that she was somebody that I wanted to protect. I wanted to do my level best to make sure that the officers did their level best to get accountability for the person who had assaulted her.
When you brought up what a plea agreement was, and I just remember suddenly being filled with rage, and I was very frank with the fact that I had no interest whatsoever in having this be a plea agreement. I feel like I knew that it would end in a jury trial while the assault was still going on.
When I felt like I finally had developed or developed a rapport, was, remember this, when I looked at you and I said, everything in the reports is Kimberly. I see that you sign your name Kimberly. Is that what you want me to call you? And your response was, all my friends call me Kim. Everybody else calls me Kimberly. You can call me Kim.
Yep.
That's when I knew we had broken through, so to speak.
Yeah.
It was successfully prosecuted, and that guilty verdict meant that I got a sense of power back in my life. And I decided to release my name to the media after that because the thought that if one person didn't have to go through what I went through, that it would all be worth it was enough to put myself out there knowing that not everybody's gonna have something nice to say about it.
As a survivor of rape and now a mother to 2 small children, you know, it seems like being able to purchase a firearm of my choosing and being able to carry that wherever me and my family are, it seems like my basic responsibility as a parent at this point. So why can't your administration see that these restrictions that you're putting to make it harder for me to own a gun or harder for me to take that where I need to be is actually just making my kids and I less safe?
Women are buying firearms because we need them. We need them to protect ourselves, to protect our families. We are biologically at a disadvantage, and this levels our playing field.
Scenarios that we could be setting her up for, at least to hopefully be able to handle and work through and survive. Home invasions, carjackings, you know, real world scenarios that are exactly that. They're real world. They do happen every day. So it's important to at least have the mindset and maybe hopefully prepare her mentally and give her the skills that she needs to be able to handle it. Heaven forbid she ever ran into it.
I think of my life very much in terms of a before and after, which is, if you ask any survivor, you have those before and after moments in your life. The after for me is a conscious effort to not live in fear, but to be very aware of my surroundings and have a situational awareness that I can also counteract with an ability to defend myself.
Everybody okay?
Clearly, she has dealt with immense stress in her life, and she has learned how to process it in a way that is fitting for her and allows her to continue to press forward. Unfortunately, she had to go about it in a tough way, but it's definitely made her a stronger individual, and for what it's worth, like, I'm profoundly impressed with her.
Now, in going back to the range since then and doing drills, it's there. It's like a piece of me is now ingrained in doing this, and I think of how many people go to seek training that have had some sense of trauma or victimization that maybe they don't talk about it. If they're given tools to make those connections, I'm just thinking, holy cow, that would be amazing, because it gives you such a sense of confidence in yourself and your ability to take that power back.
I was a 20-year-old college girl. I don't think that I was necessarily feeling like I was ever threatened. It wasn't that I didn't understand that bad things happened. I just was under the impression that, well, yeah, they happen, but they don't happen to me. And they do. So they can happen to anybody. I found Mike, we have our kids, we have our family together. That's something worth protecting. And everybody out there has something worth protecting. I just love that I now know how.